Hello. My fucking... I accidentally turned off my computer with my foot. Oh, I can't believe that actually happened to me. You know, it would happen. Everything just decided to crash.
Now there's a ditty worthy of a knee slap.
You were starting to wonder if you'd show up. I thought perhaps you mightn't want to be reminded of the past, even if it was to see old friend. Oh, you feel a little more substantial than before. I suppose I do, don't I? I'm glad you seem well. Trudy. Must I? I'm joking. Of course I want to know. Tell me all. I can imagine. A celebrity in their midst. They must have raised their voices from whispers to faint murmurs. Hopefully these meetups will become a regular occurrence. It's not that I miss the tadpoles, but at least it brought us together. Now we've got to make the extra effort ourselves.
Don't worry. We'll keep in touch.
I'm sure we will, but let's be proactive about it all the same. We're more than capable. After all, we've faced down bigger threats than wrangling together a few social calendars.
True.
Don't be a stranger.
Good. What have you been up to?
He snaps the air and wiggles. He's either miming fighting a many-limbed creature or dancing. It's unclear. He is, however, exhausted. He's had plenty of adventures without you.
You look tired. How about Shadowheart?
The joy in the owlbear's eyes is clear. He longs for a home and would love to stay with Shadowheart.
She needs a big, fluffy pet.
And these people.
Moving ahead.
Well, some people.
Well now. You can make yourself presentable when you have a mind to.
That makes one of us.
Oh, forgive me. I am simply excitable. It is good to be out under an open sky once more. My first, since the reconstruction began. We left quite a mess behind. But the city begins to look something like itself once more. Same twisting alleys for purse pickers. Same wooden buildings ready to get burnt by next year's dragon. Same cisterns overflowing. Huh.
The ball temple still stands.
An empty throne. Thanks to you. The city will not be long in burying it. Baldurians simply get on with it. Stubbornness, civic spirit, plain stupidity. Perhaps all three. But nothing I will sniff at any longer. Harpers have come from half the world over to lend aid. Farmers, masons, healers. My own son, Jord, has been wooed to their ranks. Already he plans crop cycles in Worm's Crossing. Not so for my daughter. Ryan's rejoined the Flaming Fist. Temporarily, you understand. To organize the craftsmen. Though she spends more time locking up comrades for pocketing 8 ones. They might learn a thing or two if they don't expel her. Again.
You must be proud of them.
I suppose I am. I tried to steer them clear of my life's work, but they have chosen it for themselves. There is still much to do. People to house. A Harper network to rebuild. I may have little love for this city, but so long as my family chooses to serve it, I can do no less.
Finally being
but
a
I see the
mom.
flush in your cheeks when I speak of family. Perhaps you mean to start one of your own.
Hell yeah!
I don't want to watch over a blood match where the jewelers call me auntie. Just be careful, Bowspawn.
If I just have one, they'll have no one to duel.
All right, Ball child. It is true you are no longer what you were. You have done well for yourself. For all your travels. I hope you have arrived where you want to be. Home. Whatever that means to you.
My home is Asterion.
Ah, sentiment. With the greatest affection, I can think of better ways to sour our stomachs.
Bruh.
I must inspect the refreshments. You'll never know. Some ne'er-do-well might have tampered with the wine.
Right, that's not just an excuse to get drunk.
Why you bully me?
Hey, Snicky Snafu, thank you for the raid. Just, hanging out in
Don't know
the...
how to explain it.
After defeating the Elder Brain, you're hanging out. Aw, look at the baby. Baby puppy. Let's say hi to Karlak, the gourmand of dreams.
Ah, soldier. How glad I am to see you again. I'd started to wonder if I ever would.
Sorry I haven't visited.
I'm sorry I haven't reached out. I guess I wasn't sure what you'd make of me. I've changed so much. But then again, you have too.
I haven't really. Just looking after myself, walking through nature, breathing exercises.
Impressive. You've been looking after yourself well. Far different from the haunted person I once knew. Our victory against the Dead Three changed everything. For example, my favorite food used to be mutton chops. Do you know what it is now? Brains, soldier. Brains.
The old Karlak would be aghast to hear that.
Maybe at first. But the person I used to be had a deep empathy that hasn't left me. Let me explain. I've made
She's a bit
arrangements
zoned
with a
out.
healer in the city. When a patient is beyond saving, but still able to speak for themselves, they're offered a choice. They can go as nature intends to take them, or when they're ready, when their goodbyes have been said, their affairs settled, and all that awaits them is pain, I relieve them. When I consume their brains, I am nourished by much
That's a bit
more
off.
than the physical
Yeah,
nutrition.
my character's expression is mine.
memories
It's like, okay,
from
that
birth
sounds nice.
to death become part of me. I've lived hundreds of childhoods, first loves, marriages, feuds, and friendships. I remember them all. And in this way, we all live on together.
It is a bit strange.
It's strange, I know. I couldn't have imagined this life for myself in a million years. But I think I'm doing good in the world and staying fed along the way. What more could a Karlak want?
A Karlak?
It's been wonderful to see you again. Reminds me of old times around the
Yeah,
campfire.
it is
I used
scary.
to think
It is.
becoming a mind flayer was a fate worse than death.
It's really, really
I
weird.
wouldn't trade my life, this life, for anything. Things change, isn't it?
Yeah, it is pretty
Enjoy the
spooky.
night, my friend. I know I will.
Okay. Just stay away from my skull, please.
Some magic in the
Sorry,
And march
it's a
under
reflex
these
when I
very
clap eyes
skies.
on something.
Such pleasure to
Distasteful.
see them once more. For 2 months, Orpheus trained me in the ways of the comet. For 2 more, I skewered Kithraki bellies. And for 2 more yet, I traveled through Limbo. I never imagined we'd be standing toe-to-toe on this day, in this place. Nothing but allies, I always told myself. A necessary partnership. But in spite of every strange word,
Hi, Danjo.
every
Thank you for
barbed
following.
glance, seeing you brings me even more pleasure than taking a Royal Inquisitor's head.
Aw, what a sweetie. Figured the Lich Queen would be dead by now. It's the holdup.
We've spilled blood, gained a foothold in the astral, but still we need allies. And one beyond reckoning has made itself known. Zerith Minyaragith.
What is that?
Not a what, but a who. The immortal god king of the Githzerai. An exiled people. Once king with mine, until the madness of
Living.
civil war ripped our one sky
Yeah.
into 2. Our Gish sent word of the rebellion to Minyaragith through the cosmos. He's agreed to parley. It's fallen to me to secure an alliance.
Oh, wow. The great... Best choice for the Dob. Your tongue is as learned as your blade.
My blade is keen as ever. But it was you who showed me that a proper victory doesn't always require a razor-sharp edge. Sometimes, a A sincere plea is more persuasive than a dagger against the neck. Minyara Gith is an ascetic. He reached out in good faith. This is his way. It is in this spirit that I must meet him. I will not rest until I burn Vlaakith's bones to ash and smash her phylactery to pieces. Be free! But you've heard that refrain before. Zealous, bossy, insistent. All part and parcel of my undeniable charm.
True. Shame you couldn't be with us in person.
I suppose it is, rather. I'm just glad to be here at all. It has taken all of Orpheus's efforts to conjure my projection, and all of mine to convince him to let me come. Worth it, I'd say. I miss this place. This... Fey Run. More to the point, I missed you. I wouldn't even deny it with Vlaakith's vorpal blade at my neck. Though, I'd rather it not come to that. Now go, mingle a bit. That's the word, right? Mingle. But don't think you've seen the last of me. I'll be back. Sure as the comet will rise. Sure as Kalir will forever circle the sun.
Sweetheart.
Well, there he is. Gale in all his glory. I hope you're happy, the god of ambition. Have you ever heard anything more ridiculous?
He's not who he used
Not
to be.
in the least. And who led him straight to such ridiculous notions, hmm? Who left that crown in the river where any foolish wizard could swim down and pick it up? You were looking out for him. I expected better of you.
Gale is his own man.
False. He was mine. Though now he belongs only to his own pride. I know there's nothing you could have done to stop him. Not really. Once he'd decided to learn nothing from his mistakes, what use were either of our protests? Perhaps you'd be willing to come meet Gale's mother sometime? She misses him so. And I know it would do her heart a world of good to discuss her son with someone who knew him as he was.
I'd love to.
Jolly good. I'll tell Mrs. Dekarios to be expecting you. Oh, she'll be delighted. Things just haven't been the same without himself cluttering up the place. Enjoy your party, dear. I've heard you quite deserve a celebration.
There you are, my mortal friend. New days, old friends. Goodness. Was Faerun always so dull? Still, at least the company was worth the trip, if not the view.
I thought you were dead. I hadn't heard from you in months.
I'm afraid time works quite differently in Elysium. I didn't realize how long I'd been gone until I received Wither's summons. I imagine you're wondering how all this came to be. The finer points of divine ascension are beyond mortal comprehension, I'm afraid, but I can provide a rudimentary sequence of events. First, I retrieved the crown of Karsus and reforged it using a series of precise and highly complex Netherese incantations. Then, I used it. As you know, the orb within me was the half-formed Karsite Weaver. Magic left incomplete by Karsus' self-destruction. I finished it. Using the crown of Karsus, I turned it into a new form of magic, fused with my being, driven by my purpose. And then I put it to work. As expected, Mistra was unwilling to hand over the reins of the weave, so I've claimed dominion over another area which I've passing familiarity. Ambition.
Would you mind demolishing Ball's domain while you're at it, if you're just passing through?
I assure you, this is merely the prelude to a far grander vision. Elysium's in for something of a shake-up. I confess, I expected Raphael to come knocking with that infernal contract we signed. But, strangely enough, he never showed his face.
He's dead.
Intimidated, no doubt. I can say this much for now.
Raphael's dead.
Mistra is welcome to her dominion. My aims are set a little higher than offering cursory blessings to just any half-decent spellcaster. I exist not to bestow favors on my followers, but to inspire them to seize their destinies for themselves, exactly as I did. I'm their proof. Proof their hopes are not barren wastes, but the loamy soil in which their future achievements will flourish. Proof that with ambition, anything is possible.
Do you share all this Galarian magic with your followers?
Ao would prefer to let the cosmic dust settle from my unexpected ascension before considering my right to grant my followers such power. I'm sure it'll come around in a millennium or so. And by then, my creed will be something to reckon with. There are already several shrines in my honor scattered across the outer reaches of Thay, and rumors of a very prominent temple under construction in Arm. This is only the beginning.
I think it's the end of the Gale I knew at
I believed in
least.
you for so much of our journey. It's a pity you won't do me the same courtesy. I suppose it was foolish to expect a mortal to understand. Tara, you must practice acceptance. My new powers are to be utilized, not feared.
The only thing I fear is the ever-growing size of your ego, Gale.
Oh, Tara. It hurts to be so misunderstood by my oldest friend.
What a lovely occasion this is.
I don't think that Karlak is on the up and up. There's my hubby. Radiant Hopeful.
Past made present. I'm glad for it. For this.
You would think someone of my vintage would be inured to the passage of time. Yet these past 6 months have seemed endless without your company. But now, our paths cross once more.
Missed you too, buddy.
We have all pined for each other's company, I sense. I cannot imagine otherwise after what we shared. That bond was forged in a crucible that can never be stoked again, Oak Father willing. It is a bond that can weather any distance, any passage of time. I know it can, for I feel the longing for old friends in my heart each day.
True. Sound like you need a hug, buddy.
I always do. Should I ever decline, assume a doppelganger has taken my place.
Will do. God, he's so tall.
That was more than worth the wait.
I'm sure there'll be more where that come from.
Rest assured, my arms shall be ready. Now, we have much to catch up on. Do not allow me to ramble on. I am eager to hear all you've been doing.
You first.
In that case, very well. Our community grows rapidly. In 6 months, we have turned what was once a shadowy wasteland into a true home for all. In another 6 months, I would wager the scars of the past will be entirely invisible, even to those who remember them. The old masonry of Moonrise Towers and Rythwin have been repurposed into new homes, and the land is rich with harvests and bountiful trees. Nature and civilization are in harmony, stronger together.
I had recalled you had a lot of young words to what chapter?
My greatest purpose and greatest reward. Those children have been through more than fate had any right to cast at them, and yet they go on as resilient as anything in nature. I impart what knowledge I can to them, yet, in truth, they teach me far more. The land we saved is theirs, and they will cherish it, I'm sure. Thaniel and Oliver shall never want for friends again.
My turn, I suppose.
Please, spare no details. I shall not lie. I have an ulterior motive in wishing to hear all. It is the children, you see. My charges. Their appetite for bedtime tales is greater than I could ever have anticipated. Another story, Daddy Halsin. Another is the chorus that greets me each nightfall. They have all but exhausted my repertoire in but a few short months. No mean feat given the lifetime I have lived. I desperately need new material, please. My reputation is at stake.
All right, let me see what I
I
have.
am all ears. Though I never cared for that phrase. A rather unsettling image.
I'll tell him a detective story.
A touch bleak, perhaps, but considering the amount of orphans in my audience, I'm sure they'll manage. I can make something palatable with a little showmanship and creative license. Thank you. Now, it would be cruel of me to hoard you all to myself for the evening, as much as
I'm
would
pretty
like
sure
to.
a detective story
I shall
is more
leave you to the others
interesting
for now.
than.
Unless there was anything else.
Tell me about Thaniel and Oliver. How much do you see them?
Quite often. They come and go as they please, but with so many playmates to avail of, they are far from strangers. They ask after you often. What you did for them will never be forgotten. I can see it in the land all around me. But more importantly, I see it in their faces whenever they visit. To make a child smile is to dabble with the power of gods, as far as I'm concerned.
That's really sweet. Still partial to roaming in bear form, I take it.
I spend half my days in ursine form. The children demand it. I had a score of them taking turns riding upon my back just days ago. I'm glad they are so comfortable with the Oakfather's creations. But they must learn that not all are as amiable as I am. A lesson for another time, though. They deserve some joy. As for roaming, that impulse has dwindled, I must admit. Perhaps because I have found where I am meant to be.
Nice. What of the Grove?
On occasion, but I prefer not to interfere. Francesca of the High Forest is Archdruid now, and by all accounts, she has proven to be a steady and wise influence. Even Korga may yet find true balance, thanks to her influence.
Didn't I kill Kaga? I think I did. He seemed more settled.
As did I, but somehow I feel like I no longer need to roam. That I have found something worthy laying roots for. Amazing what can be discovered about oneself, even at a ripe old age.
Dude, you're not as old as Jaheira, so...
Before you go, I have something for you. Just a little keepsake, really. Do you remember how
Halsin
I told
is
you I
just
liked
too
to whittle?
nice. Yes.
I made this. Ducks are my favorite,
Aww.
but I thought they were particularly fitting in this case. They are migratory birds, of course, traveling far and wide with the turn of the seasons. Yet, they always find their way back to where they belong. Just like old friends find themselves back in each other's company.
That's so cute. It's lovely.
Just a token to remember me by. Now, I've taken up enough of your time. Go on. Enjoy the festivities. We can speak again later.
Aww, a little duck. Good. Aww. Oh look! A scratch! The best boy in the realms.
A pity mutton chops no longer hold any temptation.
The only thing I fear is the ever-growing tide.
Aww.
There's something strange in your old friend's mouth. What is it?
What you got there? I'm glad Withers Rind right, my favorite companion.
Scratch barks merrily in something like agreement. He seems excited in a way you recognize. He wants you to throw the object he's dropped. But it isn't a ball. It's the astral prism.
Here, boy. Where did you find this?
He whines. Let's talk. More throw.
Gods, I must look a mess. I just rolled out from under a pesky ogre when Withers yanked me in. Oh, I didn't mean... Well, I didn't mean that. I just gutted the ogre, not... How about I change the subject before I dig this hole any deeper? It's so good to see you. And I've got so much to tell. The trolls I've torn open, the ghouls I've cleaved, the stories I've been itching to tell. I don't suppose you'd indulge me.
It sounds like you've been faring well without your
I won't
powers.
lie. Losing the eldritch blasts and the hexes took some getting used to. Nothing but void, where once there was hellfire. So, I stoked new fires in myself using the lessons my father once taught me. Now, the Blade of Frontiers is a ranger. A true hunter of monsters. A warden in more than just name. That ranger's left a mountain of corpses in his wake, and collected a tale or two. You'd indulge him one, yes?
Yes.
Yes, but just the one, or I'll be yammering all night. You want to hear about the Stegosaurus that bullied Candle Keep, the impossible lich, or the young dragon who crawled out of Deeping Cave?
The dragon.
There are tales galore of a great green dragon called Clogiliometer. Try saying that 5 times in a row.
I already fucked up.
Clogiliometer, Clogilymuffer, Clogamother, whatever. Let's call it Old Gnawbone. Turns out, Old Gnawbone had kids. And one of them flew the roost and took to stalking a small elven enclave outside Crypt Garden Forest. The damn dragon had turned the place into a slave camp before I arrived. Sordid beyond words. He was a big boy, but still a young'un. A wonder of the skies, but a lumbering oaf on the ground. I tried a sly approach, but the whelp saw me coming and up it flew. Poison poured from its mouth as it descended. I tumbled away, shot it with arrows, and it crashed to the ground. I could have ended the battle there and then, but this was prey that deserved to be played with. The beast was a smoking heap of black-green scales once the battle was over. The elves and I sang songs and drank mead in celebration until their barrels went dry.
Your father must be proud of you having been
I've
visiting.
seen him more than a few times, and he's as proud of me as I am of him.
Aww.
He's leading the city's renewal, opened the gates to all newcomers, rebuilt the council from scratch. And he's back in his element, commanding the Flaming Fist with brave heart and no shortage of empathy. The likes of Gortash can bend people's minds with a few chosen words. No tadpole needed. Bane's
True.
Chosen primed the Fist for a war they weren't meant to win. He convinced them there was an assassin hiding in every shadow, that cruelty was the correct answer to crisis. With a few exceptions, fathers pardoned every last fist. If my forgiveness not be Tyr's will, so be it. I shall forgive them all the same. His words, not mine. He still believes in the bow and the blade, but with Floric's help, he's teaching the Fist a new lesson. Valor is found not in the wounds you inflict, but in the lives that you have bettered.
Who just
May
exploded
they
something?
all take it to heart.
Miss traveling with you, buddy.
I've missed you too. The rush of battles we fought, the heart-to-hearts, the nights around the fire, the comfort of knowing I didn't face the unknown alone. If I had to do it all over again, and I'd rather not, to be clear, I can't imagine not having you at my side.
Aw, thanks, buddy. Wish I'd been there to see it play out.
I wish you'd been there to join in. Oh, to battle together, just like the old days. I suppose that's my way of saying I miss you. Tonight, I toast not just the people we've become, but the people we were. Warriors, winners, saviors. Go on, the night's young. You shouldn't waste a moment of it. Or waste a single drop of wine for that matter. I plan on downing half a bottle myself. Oops, did I say half a bottle? I meant half a dozen.
Look at Minsk.
Boo! We are not dreaming. It is our old friend.
What happened to you? You look terrible.
Boo suggests that a hello is more traditional. You will forgive the aroma, I hope. We were not expecting the Dusty One to open a portal to our very cell. Boo had a moment to lick himself clean, but there is a little too much of Minsk to cover.
Why were you in a cell?
Minsk and Boo have been helping, of course. We guard the streets, while Jaheira is occupied with harperish matters. The Zentarum rule the city's underbelly, so Minsk and Boo went to give them a tickle. There were harsh words, battle cries, some manner of head wound. We awoke in a Zentish cell, awaiting trial by noble combat. Execution, says Boo, though I am not sure of the difference.
No.
It is a long walk to the gallows, and Minsk still has his fists, no?
Does Jaheira know that?
She told Minsk and Boo to behave themselves, which is why we shall be back in our cell by dawn. But leave such matters for the morn. Tonight is for celebration and the telling of tales. How have you filled your days since we tore this sticky tyrant from the sky?
Trying to find a way to cure
Powerful pen.
him.
If love cannot cure a vampire, what can?
True.
Oh, Boo suggests a variety of arcane remedies, but love is the most potent, and by far the easiest to pronounce. There is much merriment to be made before the night is done. Go, and greet the others. Minsk shall make himself presentable. This pond shall do nicely, Boo, though I see no soap. So you shall have to blow the bubbles for me.
Withers has a keen eye for a nice vintage. Why were we scrounging in barrels and crates for supplies when he could source these? God, I remember one evening when we had to eat 14 apples, some fish heads, and a stale loaf of bread just to get by.
What a lovely occasion this is.
Let's have a look.
The material plane.
Though I'm going to get
forgotten what it's
very
like.
hungry very soon.
New days, old friends. There's no greater joy.
And how have our friends fared without us?
They seem happy.
I'm glad. It would be so easy to go through everything we did and come out the other side bitter and twisted. But they deserve happiness. We all do. And I will forever be grateful to have found it with you.
Just hug that silly fucker. You silly bastard.
I do feel a little bad keeping you all to myself. After all, I get to see you every night. Go on, go mingle. Enjoy your time with the others. Bless them with your presence. I'll be here when you're ready. I'll always be here, my love.
What a lovely occasion this is.
Go on, talk to the...
I already did talk to everybody. Where's Withers?
This one night is like any other, and yet different. Thou art the savior of Baldur's Gate, until such time it requires saving again. How dost thou feel?
Tired.
Surely thou thinkest not of sleep on this eve of celebration? For sleep will ever find thee, but thou may not see thy friends again until the end of days. So, I ask thee, how dost thou feel, apart from tired?
Proud.
I am pleased to hear it. The satisfaction of one's intention is, to my surprise, a rare accomplishment. Enjoy the revelry of the day. Thou deservest at least that much.
I think I've caught up with
What
everyone.
indeed? Prick up thy ears and listen. The balance of the world restored. The balance of these lives, mortal and otherwise, brought to account. Hear me, thou heroes, wastrels, friends. I have waited long to tell you these words. It is over. For now. Thou played thy part in weaving the fabric of fate itself, but for every thread you sewed, so did the gods unravel another. Sleep, rest, revel, but be
I'm ready to rest. I'm so tired.
for thou mayst yet be needed. Until we meet again, I wish thee every possible fortune, health, wealth, love, and above all, problems worth solving.
To all of you, my real family. Aww.
To you.
Nope. It's the other way. There we go. See?
There thou art, the dead three. Thy faces gods, thy actions barely worthy of the name. Didst truly believe thy ploy would succeed? Didst believe I would not notice? Thou sought to bolster thy strength by taking away the souls of mortals. But souls vanish when their hosts become mind flayers. Didst think the other gods would not notice? Gods thou may be, yet thou hast proven thyself fool.
Just finished another round of Baldur's Gate.
The supplication of vain, the whimper of Baal, the death mule of Merkel, felled by mortals.
Again.
I overestimated thee. They did not. Vermin, away. Thou wilt trouble us no more.
That is where we're leaving it for this time. This game is so much fun. Let's send somebody some viewers. Let's see. Anyone I'm following? Looks like Nick Starling is. Let's give him a little surprise. How is his heart rate so low? What the fuck? Maybe mine's just really high. It's probably that. Okay, mine's 91. Okay, guys, just ignore what I said. There's stuff wrong with me. 86. Never mind. It's not that bad. I mean, that's pretty bad. Yeah, let's just go to his stream. And I'll see you on the next time. Goodbye!